Hi, this is Michelle from Dallas, Texas.
Hi, I'm Sarah from Savannah and Hilton Head.
And we are here doing a podcast together.
Yay, again.
Yes, I know. It's been a few. We're going to talk about venues today.
Yes.
And maybe we can share a little bit about why we're here in Myrtle Beach together.
Absolutely. Yeah, so we have training this week. All of the franchises are here. There's a couple missing because they have events or something fun going on. But we're excited to be with everybody and get the opportunity to see everyone since we don't get to do that very often.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Me too.
All right, so we're going to talk about choosing a venue, what to look for in a venue, and questions to ask.
Yes.
So, what do you think should come first, the planner or venue?
The planner should always come first. But if you have a venue, it's okay. The planner can help you find like exactly what you're looking for in a venue. They might already know, like, is your guest count gonna fit within the venue? What does the venue offer? So planner, always first before you do anything. They're gonna keep you on track and know what to do. But like I said, it's okay if you have your venue.
So yes, I completely agree. Planner first. I can't tell you how many times I've worked with a couple that have booked a venue, then booked me, and then we talk about their budget. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, okay, well, here is the security costs, the security deposit, everything else on top of the venue rental that you paid,
right?
That you're responsible for. And then they're shocked and eats up their budget.
Yeah.
So yeah, planner first.
Yep, I totally agree. Did you try to pick a date first or select a venue first and choose a date based on availability?
There's a bunch of variables. Mm-hmm. So what season do you want to get married in? I have couples who get married out around school and work. There's a lot of things to think about. I think the key is staying flexible.
Yes, I agree with you. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer either. But if there is a date that you're like set on, you might have to wait a couple years.
Yeah. I think that's the wrong answer. You should not have like a
be flexible.
Specific date and be like, I'm not having any other date.
Yeah.
I get it. There's like, what do you call those dates? Like 11/11.
Oh, yeah.
And all that. People want those dates, but so do a lot of other people.
Yeah.
So you got to make sure everything aligns, budget and all that.
Yes.
What are some things to consider if the venue is fully outside?
The season.
Yes. So you do a lot more outside weddings than I do.
Yes.
So what are some things to consider?
The rain, the wind. Last time we were together, it was so windy. I think those are the biggest things. If it's summertime in the Low Country, everybody's going to melt. It's going to be so hot. So if we're outside under a tent, do we have fans? Do we have AC? What are we doing for that? What are we doing if a storm rolls through? Like we've had a bunch of storms here lately in the evenings. Those are definitely some things to consider. Also, because we're at the beach, if you do a beach ceremony, how are you going to get from the beach to the reception space? Is it going to be sandy? Is it a long walk? XYZ, all the things that come along with that. But definitely weather and how do you keep your guests cool? Or if it's colder, how do you keep them warm? We're in a good area where it doesn't get too cold outside all of the time, but it'll dip, I say like 40, but it's not always cold to people, but it's chilly to us in the Low Country.
Yeah, I'd say definitely just thinking about the guest experience overall.
Yeah.
You don't want them melting outside. If they need a seat, are they going to be out in the sun, melting there, rain, all that. So.
Yeah. Food. Is it going to be okay?
Yes.
The cakes melt outside.
Yes, they do.
They always melt. I have a ton of pictures of the cakes like this.
Flowers.
Sometimes we take bets on if they're going to fall or not.
Oh, yeah.
Flowers. Yes, flowers will wilt depending on what type of flowers you get. If it's windy or hot, they will definitely wilt. They'll come in fresh, looking great, and then and florists are aware of all of those factors, but that's something to think about.
I also have entertainers who say they won't play outside when it reaches a certain temperature. And so that has been all summer for me. So that's been fun.
Yeah. there's lots of variables for outside. That's why you need to hire a planner first.
Yes, planner first.
Yep. Is it a good or bad thing if a venue has a list of vendors you're allowed to use?
I don't think it's a good or bad thing. I work with venues that have a great preferred vendors list, and I'm happy to refer them. I want to refer them because I love working with those folks. There are some venues that don't have a very curated vendor list.
Right?
And I don't know how they put it together.
Yeah.
I think it's just like the venue open, first come, first serve kind of thing.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
That makes sense. I agree with you.
If you're looking at a preferred vendors list, I think you need to do more research.
Yes, for sure.
Don't just be like, oh, hey, they recommended them. Let's go with them. Look at their Instagram, look at their website, their portfolio, pricing, get in a consult, get to know them.
Yeah. It's also good for us to be on preferred vendor list as well. Like I think we're on, at least for Hilton Head area, we're on a good amount of vendor lists there. So that's a good thing for us. But like you said, some people aren't always great, or like they have an in, or they've just been on the list forever, or whatever it is. So it's a good start to help you figure things out, but it's not the end all be all of everything.
Yes. But do your research.
Yep. If you're not on the vendor list and they only allow vendors,
like
how
as
do
a
you
planner?
get it? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I have tried to get around that because, like you said, some of these people have been on the list forever and ever. And for a venue to do all that networking and try to find new vendors is a lot of work. They have a lot of work to do on their end, keeping maintenance of the venue, marketing, sales, all that. So to get a new vendor list is a lot of work.
It is.
So sneaking in there, doing a tour,
Right?
Dropping off some treats.
Yes. Always drop off treats.
Yeah. It's all about just being in their face.
Yeah, it is. And I think, I don't think I've ever had to like go around the rules before.
Yeah, I can't.
Like they allow, like
I'm not
most
a rule
of our,
breaker, but
I will find a loophole in anything. If there's a rule, there's always a loophole, and I will find it.
I mean, yes, I'll read contracts and be like, okay, let me read this again. Let me just see.
Let me see how I can get in there. So most of our venues, you don't have to be on the list or not on the list. So anybody can come in, but it's doing a good job in there to get on the list.
Yes, that's true.
And they won't put you on the list until you've worked there, which is a hard thing. I've never been able to like finagle my way onto one without being in there. But I get it.
Yeah.
There's some places that I think maybe should have only a list.
Yes.
I don't know.
The venue provides tables, chairs, and linens. Would you recommend using those?
Yes and no.
Correct. That
Tables.
is the correct answer.
Tables, yes. If you want, let me back up. If they're not plastic tables, yes. So you want like your wooden fold-out tables.
Okay, can I just say my pet peeve is when you get cocktail tables and they're the folding legs one that you get at like Home Depot.
Yes.
And I come in with my 132-inch and the sash, and I'm just like, what is this?
Yes. No, thank you.
Those are not cocktail tables.
No.
I don't ever want to see those.
No, we want wood tables, people.
Yes.
Wood and metal is what we want. So, yes, if they have wood tables, chairs.
It's so funny that you
Yeah.
say wood tables. You do more wood tables than I do. I cover everything with linen.
No. Not like farmhouse tables. Like your tables that you flip
like
out.
a real table.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not a plastic table.
And they're not the same.
No.
Some of them wobble.
No.
Yeah.
And we have nice linens for them. I'm like, this is not what I saw previously. So what is this? So when we get to list of questions to ask, this is one of them. Wood tables or plastic tables?
Yes. What about chairs?
Chairs, it depends on what kind of chairs they have. Banquet chairs, please don't save your money on chairs. Please rent
that look
chairs.
like they're from the 90s or something.
Please don't. A lot of places still have Chiavari chairs, which, whatever.
I know. I want to be like, can we do like something a little more elevated?
Yeah.
I think just because we see Chiavari chairs all the time.
White fold-out chairs.
They're like the go-to chair.
Every venue has the white fold-out chairs. I'd rather not, but I guess it's better than.
I know. I think if you have a very specific vision, like you come to me with a Pinterest board that has these like gold chairs, these like, and you go to a venue that has white garden folding chairs.
Yeah.
That's not happening.
No.
You got to increase that
vision.
budget. So these are definitely things that you should think about.
Yeah.
Yes, it's okay to use some of the items, but does it fit your vision? Does it fit your budget?
Yeah, no. Linens, do not use.
Oh, don't.
A venue's linen. It's not going to fit. It's going to have stains on it. It's probably going to be ripped. Don't use it.
Yes,
Please.
I agree.
Don't use it.
The worst is when someone hires me after a venue and they're like, oh yeah, chairs, tables, linens, all included. And the first thing I say is, I don't want to burst their bubble because they're so excited to get started. The first thing I do is like, I go on the Instagram, I go on the website, I reach out to the venue. Oh, can you share what linens you have? And then I stop by and they don't even touch the ground. They're like the restaurant ones that are like square in a circle.
Yes.
Doesn't make sense to me.
And they all.
Also,
this is one of my pet peeves. Like,
you want a cookie cutter wedding? Because that's basically what it is when you use
is.
all of their items.
Yeah.
And that's fine if you want a cookie cutter wedding, but then don't show me all these Pinterest photos.
Right? And like their white linens that don't touch the grounds, and then they put the square piece on top. Like, this isn't a restaurant.
Yeah.
We're not in the restaurant. Sorry.
I know.
Quit doing it. I can't stand it.
I started telling my clients the first time I said this. I said, we are not going to use the venue's linens because you are not eating at a restaurant.
Right.
This is an elegant affair. We can think of something more fun. Do you want a beautiful landscape? Do you want something fun that has some personality? Then we're not using those. And she looked at me and she's like, okay. And I was like, okay. So I just have to have a little more confidence when I tell my clients they can't use those linens.
I think I'm just going to not give them options anymore. When they tell me, I want white linens and we're using the venues. No, we're not. We'll get you white linens, but we're not using the venues linens. You're going to spend money on it.
I was at BBJ the other day and my clients were going through the linens and I said, okay, well, here is their classic linen. This is a standard linen, like when you go to a steakhouse. We're not doing those. I was like, now this is the next level up. And she looked at me and she agreed. So
Great.
You just have to tell them.
I need BBJ to move closer to me, open an office near me, please.
Yeah. Shout out to Vanessa in Dallas. She's amazing. Yes, I love working with BBJ. Okay. What are some things to consider if the venue doesn't have a getting ready space for bridal party?
Great. Tell us. You have this a lot, don't you?
I have a bride who is so upset because they don't have, so she, when you get married at a hotel, like you need a room and you have to reserve that room. And I don't think couples think about that.
No.
So they reserved a room for the bride to get ready in, but they didn't reserve a space for the groom. And then they got mad. Also contractually, there was no getting ready space in there. So I had to lay it out.
Yeah.
Copy and paste contract. Here you go.
Yeah.
I felt bad.
Well, they got mad at you?
But it's not like they got mad at me, but they're
were
upset. Who are they going to get upset at? They're going to get upset at me, not the venue.
Right.
So yeah, it's difficult. Like, that's an added expense for wedding party. Where are they getting ready? Transportation to and from.
Yeah.
Photography. You're going to have to add more time because there's travel there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And are they going to wear their dress like in the car?
Yeah, it's a detail I always ask. I'm like, okay, so you're going to put your dress on there or you want to wait till the venue? I recommend waiting till the venue.
Yes, I do. I tell them, wait, if you can wait until the venue, if there's a space for you to change, change. Even if it's your hotel room or somebody's hotel room, go in there and change because you don't know what's going to happen between here and there.
It's such like a trick. Like, that pull the carpet under you trick. Like, oh, here's a beautiful suite. Oh, by the way, you can't use it until 3 o'clock.
Yeah, right? Yeah, that's another thing. Check-in is at 3 or 4. So if you have a room, unless you do it the night before, then you're not going to get in. But
that's definitely a question that you should ask. When can you get into the bridal suite?
Yeah. So the amount like transportation, photography, getting dressed, who all's going to be there, all of that is.
I had brides do this a few times where the wedding party, the bridal party is getting ready at a hotel, and the bride really wants to get ready at the venue for those photos.
Mhm.
And then those travel fees are like put in there and they're upset. I'm just like, if this is what you want, this is what it costs.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to say this. Everybody listen. Everything costs $1, okay?
Everything costs. It adds up for sure.
Is not free. You don't get free in weddings. Nothing comes to you for free anywhere else. So weddings just add on 10 times that, okay? You have to pay for everything. You have to pay for everything.
But that's why it's important to hire a planner, because
Yes.
we can help you budget for these things
Yes.
and prioritize what's important and make the best of your budget. But yeah, venue without a getting ready space, it sucks.
Yeah. I have 3 takeaways already from this.
Yes.
Wooden tables, rent your linens, and you're going to spend money.
Yes. What are some things that most venues don't allow?
Sparklers.
For example, like exits.
Sparklers. Where we are, it's sparklers because most everything's made out of wood because we're by the water.
Do you guys have fire bans here? We have them like all the time during the summer in Texas.
I don't know.
I just...
No. Well, we're not dry. We're humid all the time.
So the first time I had a wedding in Texas, I was like, yeah, sparklers. I can't wait. My first wedding, like grand exit sparklers. And then the venue's like, okay, so we're in a fire ban right now, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay. I didn't want to sound like an idiot. I go online. I'm like, what is this? And I'm like, we can't use sparklers.
No.
Like literally, it's so dry. It's so hot.
Yeah.
That happens all the time during the summer. So
I'm sure I think we do have them, but
sounds
it's
like you don't. You're lucky.
I mean, I think we might, but it's nothing compared to Texas. How
And
dry it
everyone
is.
wants sparklers.
Yeah. Sparklers are a big thing that most people can't do. Outside.
Bubbles.
Oh.
Bubbles inside. I've had
Oh.
brides who are like, oh, yeah, we got this fun bubble gun. And I'm like, okay, so you're going to use that for your grand exit? Because you can't be spraying bubbles all over the dance floor.
That's true, I guess. Don't slip and fall on them.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Wait, do you know event? Oh, you're
No.
outside all the time,
We're
so you don't even know.
We're outside most of the time. Another thing,
What about like bird seeds, real petals?
can't do rice. We can't do rice.
I don't even know who would want to do rice. I would
It's
just
old
veto that if someone
tradition.
said rice.
I don't know. We can't do rice. So the turtles where we live, the sea turtles, are very protected. It's like a whole thing. But Hilton Head always had, I think they've had like 300 plus sea turtles nest on the island like every year.
Okay.
So there's certain seasons that they nest, and you can't have light outside past a certain time. So like everything closes down at like 10 or 11
Okay.
if we're on the water side, because the baby sea turtles, when they hatch, they go towards the light, and you want them to go towards the moon, which is out in the ocean. So everything's done by like 10 or 11. You can't go late night, and you can't do any lights on the beach. So like we'll have some people that want to do fireworks, and we
Oh, you
can't.
can't.
Yeah, because of the turtles.
You get to go home a little earlier
I love
instead
going
of like
home
a
early.
midnight exit.
I love going home early. I think I don't
That's
think
funny,
I've ever
like
had
11 o'clock is early.
It is. I
Yeah.
think I've only had like 1 or 2 11 o'clock exits, and I love my brides, love their weddings, but I'm like dreading it.
I know. It's a long day.
It is a long day
We've
because
talked
we're
about
usually
this
done by
long
like
day.
10.
Yeah.
Does having a venue that also caters save money, or does hiring catering separately work out to be the same? I
So,
think it could be more or less.
yes.
Either way.
So, depends what type of food you want.
Mm-hmm.
If you're getting married at a hotel, you're going to be spending a ton.
Yeah.
Exclusive catering, exclusive bar, you're paying their prices. So you should get a formal quote beforehand so that you know what your budget is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You could go somewhere that allows outside catering, but then like bring in caviar for everyone, and it
Yeah.
adds to the same amount as
Yeah.
the hotel. Gosh,
I
don't know
think
how to
it
answer this.
depends on what you eat. But for us, we're at a lot of resorts or country clubs, and they have their own catering, and you have to use them. Now, granted, all their food is really good, but the places that we can bring in catering, again, it depends on what they're eating. Some of them have been less than the resorts, but like you said, like you're going to pay for it because you're at a resort and all of those things. But
basically, you could save money hiring outside catering, but it just depends
depends on what you're eating,
what you're getting.
Yep.
Okay, so let's talk about music.
Okay.
At venues. One of the first times I worked with a band at a venue, they really did not want like loud music to the point where there's like this decibel meter. They bring that out.
The venue brings out the decibel
yes.
meter? What?
And it was literally every 10 minutes. They were telling me like, hey, we got to bring it down. And I'm working with the band leader being like, hey, we got to bring the sound down. We got to bring the level down. And he's like, I have it at the lowest that I can go right now. They're just loud singers.
Oh my gosh.
Like you can't control how loud a drum is.
Right. I'm confused. Like what kind of venue is this? What are they in, like some weird noise ordinance? Are they in like the bottom of like a residence? Like what is this?
No, they're not next to homes. I don't know. It's a little funky, but that was not fun for me because we just kept going back and forth, the band and then the venue coordinator. I mean, it lasted 2 hours until grand exit, basically.
That would annoy me. I'd be like, that would annoy me. I think that, so we do have noise ordinances, but it's like the same time that the wedding ends, like 10 or 11. Unless you go inside, then there's not really a noise ordinance. But
in the city in Dallas, the noise needs to end by 10 o'clock.
Yeah. That's how we are. Music. I had a DJ who I was very surprised that he played the song. I don't even know what the song is called. I'd never heard it before until it came on at the wedding. And I was sitting like away from it, like at the vendor table. I could still see everything, but I was like farther away from it. And I'm sitting there and all of a sudden I start hearing the F word like repeatedly. And then I start hearing the P word repeatedly. And then
What P word?
I can't say it. I hear the C word repetitively.
Okay.
Are you picking up what words? Female body parts.
Yes, I know that.
Okay, the C and the P are the same.
Okay.
Then it starts saying derogatory words.
Someone's singing?
This is the DJ, a song that the DJ is playing that the bride has requested. This is at a family resort. It is blasting as loud as it could possibly be. Like,
what was your face?
Literally every word under the sun.
I wouldn't know what to do.
I was sitting there. I think I was like looking at my checklist for like the rest of the night. I was sitting there and I was like, I heard like one or two words and I was like, okay, whatever. And then like it was literally every other word. It kept going and going and going and going. And I went, oh my God. So I like get up and I'm like taking off to the DJ. Literally every single awful word on the planet this song was singing. The catering director came out to me and he goes, you need to tell them. I was like, I am on my way right now. He's like, they can't be playing this. So I go up to the bride and I was like, I have to cut this song off. I told the DJ, I was like, you can like stop this song right now. Like you have to stop playing it. And he was like, well, the bride. And I said, I already told the bride, but cut it off.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay. I've never heard it before either. And I was like, maybe you should check next time. Like, don't play this song. I have no idea what the song is. It was awful. It was awful. I was so embarrassed. I was like, what is happening
I would have
right
went
now?
straight to the DJ.
Yeah.
Considering the type of venue you were at, I would have went straight to the venue.
Well, I think I did.
Or a DJ.
The bride and the DJ were like right there. So I think I did go to the DJ and he's like, you have to ask the bride. It's like, I'm not asking her. I'm going to tell her. Like, this is inappropriate. Sorry. Yeah. She's like, okay. But I was so embarrassed. Yeah. I was so embarrassed. So even though you're having a good time and all your friends are there, make sure your music is appropriate-ish.
Yeah. But going back to like selecting a venue, I think a lot of couples don't think about noise ordinances and when you have to end. Because I don't know how many times a bride or groom has been like, we want to party all night. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm getting old. I don't want to party all night. No. But sure, I know it's your wedding day. Right? You want to party all night, but you legally can't party all night.
Right.
Legally can't.
And then we get to the end of the night and we're like, oh, so are you going out? No, I'm going to go back to the hotel.
Know.
That's what I thought. Know. That's what I told you 9 months ago.
Have you ever done the silent DJs? Or
nobody will do it.
Music?
I think it's fun. I've been to one personally, and I thought, not a wedding, but it was really fun. But brides are like, no. I'm like, but it's so cool. Like, the experience is so fun.
I know. I can't wait to do one.
Yeah.
I want to do one.
Have you done one? You haven't done one yet?
I've been to a bat mitzvah that had it.
Oh, yeah?
And I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's one way to get past the noise ordinance.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you recommend a venue that is both a ceremony and reception site?
So, room flipping. It could run seamlessly. It could also be very hectic.
Yeah.
So, I would recommend considering a venue that has a separate ceremony space, a separate cocktail hour space, and a separate reception space.
Yeah.
It's like, when you watch something being made, it's not as appetizing. What's that term?
I don't know.
That phrase, like when
cooking?
you watch the sausage being made or something like that. I don't know. Yes.
Cooking.
So like if you have a room flip, you have your guests are in there having ceremony, then they walk to the other side of the room, have cocktail hour, then you've got like me running out there, like putting menus out. You've got catering. You've got the whole team, florists, everyone flipping the room, and then you hear all the noise. It's just not as elegant.
I have one.
Sometimes they love the venue and they're like, okay, yeah, we'll deal with it.
Yeah, I have one. I haven't even done it yet, but it's this
really?
year where we have to do a room flip. I don't think I've ever had to do one before, but I'm so nervous about it. No,
don't be nervous. You're
not
amazing.
about,
You can do it.
No,
but
not
it's
about that
fun.
part.
I don't
about the bride not understanding how the flip is going to happen. Like everybody's going to see that this is happening. It is. That's the part I'm nervous about. Yeah. But yeah, I agree with you, and I also think that if your ceremony's like at a church and then your reception is somewhere else, I get the church wanting to have the ceremony at the church and going to a reception. But if you are like some completely random place that's not the same side as the reception, that is a nightmare because you have to get everybody on a shuttle. You have to get everybody there. Most of the time you have like an hour or two still in between. And so guests are like, well, what do we do with our time? Like, I don't know, go freshen up, go buy drinks at the bar instead of the wedding bar. And so like, I don't love when they're separate, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't love it.
Also, so I'll just touch on that. When you get married at like a Catholic church, they only have set times too.
Yes.
So you need to figure out like the best time or like what your guests will do in between the end of ceremony and when cocktail hour starts.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's just waiting time, and that's it. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you start your cocktail hour earlier, you end earlier, and then you can beat that noise ordinance, guys.
Yeah.
Do most venues require cleanup immediately after the wedding, or can it be done the next day? Haha, you're not going to leave your garbage there and all your decorations there. Yes. You do need to clean up everything literally the same day. Yes. You need to set up the same day. You need to break down the same day.
Yeah.
And
there might be like one or two.
What does the planner do in this situation? That's what we're responsible for. Well, not responsible. We kind of manage all that and make sure it gets done.
Yeah. We have like one or two venues that you can leave stuff that's cleaned up, like in a tote somewhere, but you can't leave the room a wreck.
I wouldn't even leave all that stuff. I would come up with a plan, like when folks are like, hey, we just want to leave stuff. Like just come up with a plan at the end of the night. Either we transport it somewhere or you put someone responsible for it, because I don't know about you, but in Texas, everything's so far away. So do you really want to drive another hour to pick up your stuff? Yeah.
We're a little bit closer. We're a little bit closer. I agree with you. I think that everything should be picked up at the end of the night, but I'll have some people that are staying on site, but they don't want to deal with it.
Like a resort or something.
Yeah, or like they're too drunk to give me their room key, even though I've asked them 100 times for it. And so I'm just like, okay, well, this is where your stuff is. I'll take a picture of it and I'll send it to you so you know where to get it the next day. But yes, you have to clean up, and we do not clean up
Your
catering, bar,
team,
trash.
they've
We're none
got
of that.
Bussers.
Flowers, none of it. We pack up all of your small items. If you can pay a vendor to do it, then that's who cleans it up, not us.
I mean, I have bussed before.
Oh, I have too.
Not fun.
I've taken trash home before because the venue was like, you have to take the trash home.
I've taken sparklers home because they told me to take it home and it doesn't go in the dumpster. And I was like,
yeah,
I don't want to drive with a bunch of used sparklers in my car.
Oh, same. I've done used sparklers.
Yes, we've done a lot, but moral of the story is yes, everything needs to be cleaned up.
Yeah.
Your catering team, bussers, bartenders, florist has to come up and come and grab their stuff.
Yeah.
I have florists who come with their own garbage bags to take their florals too. So yes, it takes a team.
It does.
It takes a village.
Any other advice for couples choosing a venue? So, yes, your entire design needs to be able to either fit in your venue or you be able to do it. Can you hang stuff from the ceiling? We have some venues that you cannot hang stuff from the ceiling, either because there's nothing to hang from or people have previously have hung stuff from like chandeliers and the chandelier falls down or the stuff on the chandelier falls down. Let me tell you this story. We didn't hang anything, but I'm just going to tell you anyway. We were doing a wedding at a resort and the bride and bridal party were walking down the stairs. So they like go down and around to go line up. And in the middle of the stairs, it was a large chandelier. And my girls were getting the girls and I was with the guys and they're texting me, OMG, the chandelier just fell down. And in my mind, it's at the reception. Like the chandelier has fallen. They're like, it broke, it cracked. I'm like, number one, who's dead?
Oh, wow.
Number two, what does reception look like at this point? And I was like, is it everybody okay? Like, what happened? Is it at the reception? And they were like, no, it's the one in the hotel. And the bride was getting ready to walk down the stairs and it fell and shattered before she did. And I was like, oh my God.
Oh my God.
So anyway, that's why they don't let you hang stuff. But that's something to think about. Like if you want draping or if you want florals, is that something you can do? Can you bring in outside lounge furniture? Will it fit within your space? Like your design needs to fit within your space. So I think it's super important to know what you want to do.
Yeah. I don't have any other advice for couples choosing a venue other than hire a planner because you really do need that guidance. And I mean, why would you not? Like, there's so many questions that you don't even think about. So yes, hire a planner.
Yeah. Restrooms is another thing to think about. Most of ours have restrooms, but there's
we think about this earlier? There's so many things we can talk about. So many things.
Yeah. There's a lot. Hire a planner will help you. Okay. What's the difference between
another thing.
Go for it.
Is the venue water potable? Do you run into this? Where the venue water is like you can't drink it.
What's happening in Texas? What?
So like you can drink it, but do they recommend it? No. It might have a taste because of like how they filter it. So they don't the venue doesn't recommend that you drink it. So we bring in a lot of water, whether it's like gallons of water that catering brings, or I always recommend bottled water at the bar.
What? This is news to me.
That is on my list. Is the water potable?
What?
I never drink water at venues. I'm sorry.
Well, I don't like tap water, to be fair, but
maybe it's just Texas water.
Is it because you guys have
something
droughts?
Water. I don't know.
Weird. No, I've never been asked to bring water unless it's for a bar.
What's the difference between a venue coordinator and a planner, or just a coordinator that's outside of the venue? So many differences. So many differences.
So a venue coordinator, and I love my venue coordinators, but they care about the venue.
Yes.
They don't so much care about what's happening to the bride on the day of because they've got to deal with catering and bar and setup and guests and all of these other things. Now, they love their clients, but
they're back of house.
Yeah.
We are front of house. So who's going to bustle your bride's dress?
Yes.
Who's going to usher your guests in if they need to be ushered?
Who's going to sew a button on?
Yes.
Who's going to tie a tie? Who's going to pin a boutonniere?
If you ask your venue coordinator to sew a button, I'm sorry, you're just going to get the look that we just gave you. That's not happening. That's not in their wheelhouse. It's not in their roles and responsibilities. We are looking out for the bridegroom wedding party. We're there to serve you guys.
Yes.
And yes, the venue coordinator is there to serve you guys too, but they are worrying about like everything back of house, security.
And I'm so thankful for them.
Yes.
Because I ask them questions all the time. Like,
I love working with venue coordinators. I love when there's a great venue coordinator.
Yeah. Can you change out that linen for me? Or like, I need 5 more forks. Or
can we coordinate when you're gonna dim the lights for me? Like,
right. How do I dim the lights?
Yeah.
When am I getting fed?
So basically, you need a venue coordinator and you need a planner.
Yes. 2 totally different roles for sure. Even if they sell you on their wedding or their venue coordinator, still hire a planner. Hands down.
I know a lot of venues who say they have a venue coordinator that will get everyone lined up, get you down the aisle, all that. Make sure like the photographer, greet all your vendors. But then that's basically all they do.
Yeah.
No, they're not going to set up your sometimes they say, we'll set up your personal decorations. But they're not packing it up.
Yeah.
They're not making sure you have a cake slice or extra food in your getaway car. Yeah.
Big differences. Big differences. Have you had any venue experiences that take the cake? Any good ones or bad ones? Not like so bad, horrible, awful, but like I said earlier, I've had to take literal trash before, and it was 11:30 at night, and I was over it. And I was so mad that they made me do it. I've been served raw hamburgers before. That was our vendor meal. Yeah. Good venue experiences, just great food, and please have Coke products and not Pepsi products.
So I can talk about a good experience.
Tell us.
So I work at this venue frequently, and they have a vendor room. Oh. They have vendor storage. In the vendor room, there's actually a mini fridge with cold water. They also have security television screens so that we can see in the ballroom while we're eating our meals. Because I'm such like a micromanager. I'm like, okay, I can't leave and go eat because who's going to be here?
Right.
Watching everything. What if something happens? It's like, it's so stressful for me to eat a vendor meal when I don't know what's going on with the bride and groom in the ballroom. I won't eat then. But this venue, I can, and it's upstairs. It's not even like around the corner. It's like you're going like away.
Yeah.
But you can see on the televisions what's going on in the ballroom.
That's nice.
They just have everything planned out. Like it's a wonderful venue. Also, their venue coordinators are amazing, and they're always like, "When do you want us to turn the lights out? And what colors do you want?" Blah blah blah. So yes. I love when there's a vendor room and vendor storage.
Nice. That is nice. I have a couple venues that are like that too. Like we get our own room. Now it is across from like the ballroom. So it's super easy to get to. I've learned to eat in 5 minutes. Yes. I've learned to eat a full like steak dinner meal in 5 minutes.
Yeah. Don't talk to me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna eat really fast.
Yeah. Like if you have an intern working with you and it's like their first wedding that they've done.
I'm trying to be nice and I'm like,
I know. And they're just like, I'm like, you need to hurry up.
You're taking 5 minutes to eat that roll. What's wrong with you?
Right. But
I know, I feel so bad.
Yeah. No, they always provide us great food. We always get a little treat. They do ask us about like lights, and they tell us when they're leaving. That's another thing about venue coordinators. They don't stay the whole time. At least ours don't.
Really?
They leave. Yeah. Like when food is done, when cake cutting is done, they leave. Yeah. I can't think of like a bad venue experience. Thank you so much for listening. We are so glad to have been able to tell you about venues today.
So you can find me in Dallas and Fort Worth in Texas.
I am in Savannah and Hilton Head.
And then you can find S&B on social, Instagram, TikTok.
Podcast,
I know,
Spotify, YouTube. We're all over the place at Stunning and Brilliant Events.
Everywhere, yes.